taxes around April 14th, they call and say, I don't want to do that Roth conversion. Can you undo it? And certainly we can. But they don't think about it until it comes time to pay their taxes, which could be anywhere from 15 months to less, because they may have done it early in the prior year.
It was also a one-time transfer from a traditional to a Roth for real estate if you wanted to move a property from one to the other. Did you have much of that happening?
Yes, we did. We didn't move too much of that back, but we did do a lot of Roth conversions of real estate,
Okay.
which we require an appraisal, so we were getting a lot of appraisals done.
Right.
And of course that costs some money. A lot of the reason I think for the rush of Roth conversion was because a lot of the investments had been devalued. So that is a good time if you're going to convert your account to a Roth. It's a good time to do it when the value of the asset is low. But with real estate, as I'm sure you're all very well aware, they were devalued, so they did the conversion at the low value. Now, in hopes, of course, that it goes back up, and then you're not going to be paying taxes on those gains.
How much cash can you put into accounts like that?
Any amount you have available, and that means it has to be qualified money, so it has to come from an existing IRA or existing retirement plan. But we have people contributing every year. I'm amazed sometimes at the size of some people's IRAs, which means that they have been contributing to it over a long period of time.
What would be an example of size?
Oh, we get them as low as $2,000, $2,000 or $3,000. I was telling Dan earlier, I opened an educational savings account for my grandson, and the limit you can contribute is $2,000 to an ESA. So the problem is not how much you can contribute or fund the account with. It's with $2,000, there's not a lot of investment opportunities there. If I want to put it in the stock market, I'd do it with my stockbroker. I wouldn't put it with a self-directed account. So it really is a function of what your investment desires are.
But if you're moving it from a traditional to a Roth, it could be 100,000 or it could be $1 million, right?
Sure, sure.
So you've seen $1 million?
Oh yeah, we have lots of accounts with multi-million dollars.
They just let it sit in there?
No, they're investing it. They bring the money to us.
What are they investing in?
Beg your pardon, what?
I'm not familiar with this.
That's all right.
I like what I heard so far. What are they investing in?
A lot of people are investing in real estate. We'll talk about specific investments here in a minute. There's a lot of managed accounts, things like hedge funds, futures, foreign currency. I'll show you a whole myriad of investment opportunities here in a minute.
I didn't mean to get ahead of you.
That's okay. That's okay. But I think I want to mention the SEP because I think for people in your industry that are self-employed, the SEP IRA is really a nice vehicle. It is a traditional IRA, that is to say you're deducting the contribution, and it's really employer sponsored. In other words, it's an employer plan, but if you're self-employed, it's all one and the same. But you can contribute up to 25% of your net income, up to I think $45,000 or $46,000 worth of contribution. So if you've got $200,000 worth of income, you can put it into a SEP IRA every year, and it becomes tax deferred, and therefore you're not paying tax on it. So I think that's a very valuable tool for self-employed people. And very quickly, this simple plan is kind of like I call it a 4-man or 4-woman's 401k. It's all done by the IRA custodian, so you don't have a third-party administrator, TPAs. I don't know if you've heard that term. The third-party administrators do all the calculation. The employer sends them the money that's being withheld from the employee's account, and then they invest it in a set up accounts for each individual employee.
Would you say that people, when they're younger, have a tendency to invest in traditional because they're trying to not have to pay the taxes that they're making, and as they get older, they have a tendency to go towards a Roth?
Well, I understand the logic there, but I think it's probably the other way around. And maybe it's because income levels have gone up more dramatically than the contribution limits have. So paying tax on $5,000 to a young person does not probably, they don't think that much about it, because it's being deducted from your check every month. It's not a big deal. I think when people get older, they understand that benefit, but they're probably, I'm not sure.
Here's my feeling on this is that if you have a Roth and you put just a little bit in there, and then you use that investment wisely and make it really big, when you take the money out, there's no taxes to pay at all, right?
No, you pay tax on the amount you're contributing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You put a little bit in there, you pay the tax before you put it into the Roth. But once it's in the Roth, if you use just the money that's in the Roth and forget about putting any more in there, and turn that into $1 million, when you take it back out later on, you're not paying taxes on it, right?
That's right.
Can you withdraw and deposit without any
Tax
penalties,
consequences? Not in an IRA you can. In fact, you can't in a 401k or other qualified plan either. The difference between the IRA and, say, a 401k or other qualified plan is that with an IRA, you can take money out for 60 days. You have to put it back in to the same account or another account within that 60-day period.
You mean the principal you took out?
Yeah.
If you took it out and you made money on that, you can put the principal back and then put the profit back?
No, you wouldn't take it out if you, this is a common misconception. When we make an investment in real estate for a client, it doesn't leave the IRA, it just changes form. It goes from being cash in the IRA to 123 Main Street is now the asset held in the account. But people ask me that all the time. Very common questions. Well, when I invested, then it's no longer in the IRA. No, it's still in the IRA. It's like if you...
Okay, I get you. That's good.
Okay.
So now it's in the property?
Yes.
Okay, so if it goes into the property and move it out of the property, can I make a profit off that and put it back into the Roth?
No. Well, if you're making the investment out of a traditional, then the profits go into the traditional. And by the way, your hands never touch that quote profit.
Because I don't want to touch money ever.
Okay. Yeah. So understand that the assets that are held in any IRA qualified plan is held in the name of the IRA. In the case that our account holders, all of the investments are registered in the name of IRA Services Trust Company for the benefit of Jane Doe. So that's how everything is registered. It's registered in the name of the custodian or the trustee if it's a 401k plan. Okay? So now when you make an investment, we make that investment for you, and we make sure that whatever investment that is, if there's any distributions or proceeds, interest payments, or rental income that come off of that, that money comes directly back to us. We put it into your cash account. And then watch your cash account grow in hopes that it reaches a point or a level that you can make other investments with that.
When can you pull it out eventually? When you're retired? Or?
You can pull it out at any time you want. However, if you pull it out before age 59 and a half, there's a 10% penalty.
So you got to make sure you make more than 10% if you want to pay the penalty.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a
That's
good
pretty
idea.
great.
Unless you're in desperate financial shape, you wouldn't want to take it out until after 59 and a half.
If you had put eventually 10,000 into a traditional, and then you work that 10,000 and turn it into $1 million from your investments, when you pull that $1 million out, you're going to have to pay taxes on that $1 million, not just the 10,000, right?
Oh, yes, that's right.
So it makes a lot more sense to grow something in a Roth than it would be a traditional, it seems like.
Well, I won't argue with you about that, but what you have to understand is that if you take $5,000 and you pay the tax on it, now you've only got, say, $4,000. So now technically you're only investing a net $4,000 because you've taken $1,000 out. if you get the same return on 5,000 that you do on the 4,000, it really comes out the same over time.
It's
So
interesting.
they all
Yeah,
have
okay.
a particular purpose, so it just depends, but this might be the best one for most people, something like that.
What's the,
Well, the traditional sounds like what I'm hearing, but I'm stupid, is that in certain cases, maybe I use traditional, other cases Roth.
well, you certainly can argue there are times when it might be wiser to invest with after-tax money than pre-tax money.
So do you
But it really does make a great deal of
that
difference.
decision for people like me who's in a different business?
I'm sorry,
Do you make that decision?
no, we don't make the decision.
We make that
You make the decision. We don't give, that's tax advice. Yes.
The reason that I opened a Roth self-directed IRA is because I was told that if I did an auction on a house, that I could take $100 from that Roth, put it down as an auction, and then whatever the spread is that I made on that house, say I made $30,000, that $30,000 at the sale would go into the Roth. But because that was
Investment,
an
not earned.
investment, that I wouldn't have to pay any tax money on that.
That's true.
So that was the whole reason. So,
But the money was, yeah, it's true.
so that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that would be. I
So
think
you
that
have an
was what
option
you
for
were talking about,
$100.
right?
Right?
Yeah.
That's what Dan was saying.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. What's hard to explain is that in either case you have $5,000 that you're investing or something. But what you don't take into consideration is the fact that you had to pay tax, which took some of your money not out of the IRA. And that's why it's hard to understand or explain, is that you take it out of your personal money. You pay the tax out of your personal money. So you, in either case, you're ending up with the same $5,000 into a Roth or a traditional. In which case, it's going to make the Roth look a lot more favorable. But the fact you didn't take into consideration is you took that 35% out of commission, so it couldn't be invested.
But what about $100?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Because I did actually on a $600,000 house, I did $100 option fee.
right.
And
And you took the $100 out of your Roth account.
yes, let's say that I did.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. In this case, it was somebody else's. So
Okay.
then, when that investment made $30,000, then that would go into the Roth account. But then I had only put in $100, so the tax on $100
Well,
was.
you could have done the same thing out of a traditional account.
I
But
could've,
yeah,
okay.
it isn't restricted.
But then I would have
Investments-
had to pay taxes on the $30,000.
Yeah, yes,
But that in the Roth, I wouldn't. Is that true?
that is absolutely correct.
So wouldn't the Roth be better?
In a case like that, yes.
So that's why they would want investors, right?
Yeah, normally that's kind of an unusual situation. If you were putting money in something that was growing gradually, it wouldn't make such a difference. But yeah, I can absolutely see why that makes sense. Okay, are we good? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. You talk about, okay, you purchase a home with your investments, and then say you're getting profit from it, it goes into your account. Okay, what if the opposite happens? You buy something and it goes backwards. What happens to your money?
Your account becomes worth less or valued at a lower amount. And believe me, over the last few years, we've had lots of those.
So that's still.
Yeah, and
But it happens to your account rather than to your person.
yes, exactly. It's money that's in your retirement account. Exactly.
What happens if your money runs out? Then can you start paying from your personal savings or something?
Well,
Or you might walk
it
away
can't
from
run,
that?
I mean, you can invest in something, a piece of property that forecloses or something, and you get nothing for it. Although that's unlikely in real estate if you actually acquire it. But we've had lots of investments that we'll go over some of these investments again in more detail, but you loan somebody money, that's a common investment in a self-directed